morning. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hope that everybody can see me okay. Yes. Can you hear me in the chat? Go on and click today's number. If you know what the numerology number is for today, it's on the community board on YouTube here. And I want to know if y'all pay attention. So you can go on over to the community page and it should have the number for the day. So put in the chat here what the number is for the day. Make sure. So if you don't know, then I put it up every morning. It's in the community board. Hey, good morning, Nancy. Good morning. Good morning. I'll just give everybody just a few minutes to come on into the room. Um, in the chat, go on to the chat and hit today's numerological number for today. I'm not going to tell you what that number is. Hi, Tia. Good morning. Good morning, Marima. Good morning, Mario. Good morning. Yes, you made it. Hey, Nancy. Good morning. Go on in the likes, hit the likes. We have 7 people in the room. Please hit the likes. And in the comments, say hello. Hey, Samantha, to everybody, and hit the numerological number of the day. It's located on the community board. I put the numerological numbers every day, except for some days on the weekend. I may miss it, but we started that a few weeks ago. And if you see it, you will see the numerological. Magdalene, no, it's not 8 for today. Go back to the community board. It's good morning, Magdalene. But I got the number up. So don't worry about it if you can't click over to the community board. But I have the number up for the day. And we've got 4 people in the room. 6. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tia. Come on, Magdalene, it's 6. All right, so I'm going to go on and get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live this day. We are talking about the 9 phases of the moon and how last week we talked about moon magic and how we talked about the divine infinite, which is whatever way you want to refer to God or something of that nature. You want to, last week, if you can go back to that live, we talked about the divine infinite, which is divine feminine. The magic of the moon is the divine feminine, which is the yang, and the sun is considered the yang. So the moon is yin, yin, and then the sun is yang. Okay. So check it out last week, and this is kind of a flow into this week. Also, welcome new subscribers. If you're in the chat and you kind of losing connection, just come back in and hit the likes and hit the number 6. That's our number for the day. And there's a lot of good information. So I'm going to get started. I am going to pull some cards before we get in to about it. We won't be here real long, but we're talking about the 9 phases. Last week, again, I'm just going over about the divine feminine. If you see me looking over, I'm looking over at my notes. Just to FYI, I look at my notes to, hey, Ayana, to stay on point. But not only that, I'm an avid person of note taking to be able to stay on point. But also, I have a little bit of a challenge, a medical challenge. And so with my thyroid, just FYI. So if anybody have thyroid issues, which is fine, it's just whatever it is. We have to talk about that on a Saturday. It's just sometimes it gives you a little bit of memory. So, and I understand that. So for work purposes, I do have a career outside of this. I take a lot of notes, but I've always been a big note taker, or I record things to make sure that I'm able to bring it forth. So anyone have thyroid challenges, that's a little aspect you'll be like, okay, you have like one of those brain farts. You're like, what happened? Okay, let me go back. So I'm a big note taker. So I'm rambling. So let's get it in. I'm going to pull some cards since we're focusing on the moons. I went to my moonology cards today, and you can get these cards also before we start as through my affiliate. If you go to the description box, not in this one, I don't think, but if you go to our videos, it's there. You can purchase these cards, and I get a percentage, and then you're able to buy it, and I get a percentage from that. So, it's an affiliate. So let's pull some cards to see what the divine has to say to those that's in the chat and those that are going to see this on replay. Um, and those that will be new to the channel, so that way you can see what spirit is saying about this phase of the moon, the 9 phases, to give you information along with spirit, okay, or with the divine infinite. Thank you, spirit guides, guardian angels, for bringing this information. That you will bring the clarity, the information that from this video on to now, it will help clarify some things that you would like to share about the divine infinite, but focusing on the divine feminine. So it is, and so it shall be. So I'm going to shuffle and just pull one card. Stop. Okay. So see what spirit wants to share about this here. All right, I'm good. Okay, North Node, you in here too. It's spotlighting the North Node. Okay, so Spirit wants to share, and if you're part of this channel, you're North Node community. Okay, so Spirit is sharing here that step out of your comfort zone. Those that will see this video from now and today and a replay, and the Spirit is saying, step out of your comfort zone. It's time to get uncomfortable, not always staying where, okay, it feels good. I'm right here. I'm just going to coast. No, they want you to step up some more. Step up some more. Coasting is boring. We're in the season of not being bored. If you keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same result. Then you'll look up out of in the springtime or even in years to come, those that will see this live. Hey, who wants to keep getting the same result? It could be in many areas, your spiritual growth, your relationships. They should be always doing what? Evolving. You should be evolving. Okay. So, and it's specified to the North Node as well, as you can see. All right. And then the other part is where you and your loved ones are safe. Okay, you and your loved ones are safe. Okay, and what that is saying, what Spirit is sharing about that, is that sometimes we're concerned about not only ourselves, our safety, and our family as well, maybe loved ones or different people such as that. But sometimes safety is a concern, whatever that may be in your life, from this day until to this video keeps going on and on. You are safe. The angels are protecting you. Your spirit guides are protecting you. Your ancestors are protecting you. The divine infinite, the creator, the source, the lover of your soul, the developer of your spirit within is keeping you safe. Sometimes we do have outer challenges in this physical realm, but ultimately from within you are safe. But you also have to apply time on a daily basis to commune with spirit or the divine infinite, to know, to give gratitude and praise for your safety. And before you go out the door or in your home or wherever you may be, if you're in transitional housing, if you're homeless, if you're living on the streets, wherever you may be, there's many people walks of life that watch this video, but ultimately know that the divine has you safe and sound. But you must give gratitude and praise on your daily basis, so that way you're trusting in that than trusting in anything outside of yourself. You must take that time to trust, but that comes with developing a relationship, okay, with the divine infinite, the creator, and within yourself, trusting that all things are working for you. But only how you know that is giving time. Even those that are here that may be going through some mourning, maybe some grief, maybe some bitterment or some transition of, hey, why am I feeling like this? About, or maybe someone has transitioned. Maybe you've lost a loved one. Maybe you've lost a relationship. Maybe there's some health challenges. Know that this is a spiritual journey that you're on, and that These are people come in and out of our lives, and sometimes they're there to teach us different things. You know, just like you will come in and out of their life, you have to trust that you're there to teach them some things. The teacher is the student, and the student is the teacher. Okay, so we're going to move on. So stepping out of your comfort zone, and you are loved. You and your loved ones are safe with new moon and Cancer. Okay, so there's 13 people now in the room. You should have gotten the notifications, or those come on and hit the likes. That lets people know that we're here. So it's 13. Hit the number 6. That is the number of the day, the numerological number of the day. Always look at it on the community board here on a daily basis to see what spirit has to say for you. Those daily message that come is fresh energy. Okay. So let's get it in. All right. At the lunar cycle, okay, there's a lunar cycle that we go through, okay, and the lunar cycle is about 29.5 days, and this is where we get our months from. So our months or our moons, we call it MOONTH, is all wrapped around the moon cycles, okay, and the moon cycle goes about 29 and a half days. But lots of times, some of the months will show, you'll see some months they go a half, so they're going to do what? Round it off. So we'll go to 30 days, or sometimes the days will go to what? It'll go to 30, 31 days. Sometimes leap year will go to what? We have our leap years, and sometimes those are based off of the moon cycles. Okay. Um, her now it takes about 29.5 to complete her cycle from new moon to new moon. Okay. And it takes roughly about 27 days to complete her orbit around the earth. So the moon has to go around the earth, and it takes about 27 days. Okay. The moon goes through 9 phases. The phases are, and then if you on Patreon, join Patreon. I have a full blown information that's there, what I'm talking about today. And I have a PDF that's there talking about the 9 phases, and a moon tracker that's there, PDF. So join Patreon. There's so much information that will help you to understand our solar system, our earth, and how do the divine infinite work with us. Okay, work with us. This is how the astrologers years ago came up with the days of the month, pattern things came with the moon. Okay. So the 9 phases are new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, final quarter, dark moon. Okay, those are the 9 phases. So you want to go to Patreon. I have it listed there. Join Patreon today. You can do the tier 1 or tier 2. Tier 2 includes a lunar workbook that will help you guide your way through the month of spiritual work. Okay. And it'll keep you on track to do something every day, or not maybe every day. Your spiritual system doesn't have to be so rigid. But if you're brand new or not new or gotten off track, what do you need to do? You need to get back on track and and rebuild your habit. A habit is built what? 21 days to 30 days. But I like to put you on probation and say, hey, it's 90 days, like I do with my career. Okay. So, and then you'll believe in yourself and trust that you will do something to help yourself, you know. Okay, so each phase has a different energy, okay, and that's we can harness with. So weekly, um, our weekly coming here on doing a live at 9:15 on Thursdays, I will go through each 9 phases and even more. We're going to talk about the wound of the moon, so many different areas about the moon, and we'll be here for a while teaching on Thursday. So stay tuned. And there's a reason for that. You know, it's time for us to get to the basics of things, and it will take you even farther. So I was guided by spirit to, hey, bring this in. I've been waiting for a while, but it was time for that leap, and I hear. So I'm like, okay, they're ready for that. Okay. So if you so go on and join Patreon today, you got the written forms if you on Patreon. It's a PDF to put in your journals and your studies. One important thing that you must have to be able to understand the moon or in your life period is to have a journal. Okay. You must have a journal. It's a must. Okay. So all of us that's here and those that will see the replay and then some, you have to have a journal to be able to do what? Track. If you've been here and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I've always talked about the months is what? The days of our lives. There are the chapter of our life. Every month is a chapter of your life. So January is what? One. It's the first chapter of the year. February, we're now in the second chapter of our life of 2022. So each month is a month, but it represents a chapter of your individual life. Okay. And that's how you're able to see closely how your life patterns are and to break patterns. Look at the challenges. Is there certain challenges that come in your life? If you don't have a journal, a written journal, but I strongly suggest to have a written journal. You buy them anywhere for under $1. Just get a notebook. If you have a cell phone, go to the notes section and chart there. Some people like to chart in a devices only. But everybody is in different stages of their lives economically and different things like that. So I may try to make sure that I don't assume everybody is somewhere financially. So if you're at a library or maybe somewhere temporarily, always carry a notebook in your backpack or in your purse or wherever so that you can chart and hear from spirit as well to get those downloads, to hear what the divine has to say to you so you can pivot properly. We some of us and all of us have moved over 1,000 steps in our lives, correct? Every 1,000 steps is a pivot. We've journeyed this life over 1,000 steps, but if you're not stepping with the right pivot to make sure you're going in the right direction and hearing, then you'll end up on a loop or on an eight all the time because you're not hearing. Or maybe you're in a state of bitterness or in a state of unforgiveness of yourself first and of unforgiveness of others. And what happens is it can keep you stagnant as well because you're holding on to something that won't release you. You're not releasing yourself. That could come from childhood, wherever you may be in your life, because mostly a lot of people that are adults are still operating in their childlike ways instead of developing, because you have to develop through growth and listening to yourself. And that's not just through education or non-education. These are things that are not taught in the educational systems. This is where we have to take the time to educate ourselves, hear, get books, maybe get up underneath a coach, come into the classes or master classes on Saturdays, different things like that. But don't use YouTube University to be your knowledge base. Sheep's come in wolves come in sheep clothing. So you must know thyself and make thyself known. You must study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth, sitting, listening, hearing, intuitiveness with the moon cycles. So you will understand and don't have your foot in one fence and one foot in the other fence, and maybe that's not your direction. And also, too, if they're under a certain age brings, and I'm going to just make that clear, and you can do what you want because it's your life. And those that will see this replay, one, don't use YouTube as YouTube University. Okay. Read your books, be guided. Even if you're hearing from me, you must study for yourself. Okay. Number two, one of the key things is looking at age points. Yeah, I know that Generation Z think that they got it all together. Even my Generation X, we may think we got it all together and all these different things, but we don't. And what it does is it takes spiritual journey, which we're on, is a journey that changes every cycle. Okay, it changes. And you may grow from one end to the next end. Okay. but that doesn't mean you have to have some age. And that doesn't make you have wisdom either, okay? Because you got some old fools too. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it 100. You got that too. However, let me be clear. If you do have a certain range of age, okay, it does help you from one cycle to the next, like 10-year cycle to the next, to understand that you're digesting information to know that you know to pivot. Okay. And also to looking at people's moral compass. All right. The moon cycles will teach you a moral compass. Okay. There is a moral compass to life, a moral code that you know what's right and you know what's wrong. Everything is not, I'm not here to judge or say to you what's right and what's wrong, but I do know this. If with from within you know what's right, you know what's wrong if you choose to listen to that. And we make over 7,000 to 35,000 choices a day. And if you don't have a moral code, a moral pivot, a moral compass, then you could be making a lot of choices that will have you derivative in different areas that would take you a long time to come back to your truth. And who wants to travel that long? Some choices can destroy us. Okay, this is why you must know within your moral code what is some doing a a moral check within yourself. You know, those type of things are very important. But the age factor of getting wisdom is very important. It really is. I'm not going to say what age limit this, I'm not going to say all of that, but I am going to suggest that you look at an age level and really see, does that, where am I in my age? Am I taking guidance from my peer or am I taking from someone that got some wisdom? And so I'm gonna leave that right there. That's for somebody. Why am I pivoting there? That's for somebody. So moving right along, you must have a journal and you must study. And that will help you to study looking at your notes. It doesn't have to be real long, but it should be maybe a sentence or two, especially when you start now. You want to go to the About page on the YouTube channel here, and you'll see Patreon. You can click it there, and then you'll be led on to Patreon. And you can give a donation there. It's an offering. Offerings go into your life. That's where people get mixed at. When you do donations and you're doing donations for yourself, it's an offering, okay, for someone giving information and you're doing the work in yourself. So, and is what it does, it gives back into your life. It goes into your future and it multiplies because you're doing an offering back into yourself to learn and to decipher what is good for you and what's not for you. If you jumping off from one system to the next system and you're not giving yourself a good year to 6 months to learn something, then you're not doing any kind of work. You just jumping and you're going to stay confused all the time because you're not working with something long enough to digest. It's just like those that get into relationships less than 6 months and move in a month and they all think that everything is super gravy and you lying to yourself because you don't know jack about that person and you don't know nothing about you either. And then you thinking it's all fabulous. It is not. You don't know them. You didn't do no back checks. You did absolutely nothing to understand what's going on. Then you wonder why it folds. You don't even know the person. You don't even know yourself to know I'm moving somewhere. That's for someone. Let me get back on chat. So anyway, in the beginning to get into the practice of learning about the moons, you must develop a habit each day with each phase. What you want to do every single day, I'm going to suggest to you is in your journal, if you look at what the phase is for the day. So what you can do is go to a moon app, go to a moon app in your phone or go online on your computer and pull up the app. I also have in the Patreon, I pulled up a link it's called the it's called the Lunar Calendar. And every day online, you can go on your computer, you can go on your phone, it tells you the phase of the day. You can draw that phase in your journal, okay? And then you can see how it feels to you. You can do other few things by going outdoors, see what the moon is in live action to you. Go out at night and do moon gazing. I know you've probably heard of, sun gazing, but you go out at night and you look at the moon, do some moon gazing, okay? And then if you can't see the moon, the moons that you can't see on the is the dark moon and new moon. You can't see them because they're completely covered, okay? So you can go out and gaze at the moon, see how it feels to you, and then make a note, okay, in your journal. You buy your journals. I'm gonna keep saying that journal, journal, journal. I've been saying that for several years here on the channel. You can buy your journals that would you can buy actually a moon journal if you like as well. That you can do that. One of the ones that I personally like is I use the Earth Pathway Diary. I use that. I'll put that here. I don't know if it'll let me put the link, but it's called Earth Pathways. I don't get any kickback from this, far as if you want to know if I get a commission off of that. No, you know, I'll post it there. But it's called Earth Pathway Diary UK. It's part of the UK. I do buy a lot of things overseas and local. I do like to give put offerings into women that are building their businesses, and those are of different nationalities, melanated people. I like to find that so that way I'm doing offers and trading that. So that way, you put in offers into others. It's a wonderful moon diary called Earth Pathways Diary dot UK. I put that in the chat here. I love that one. I'm not connected with them, but they're a wonderful journal. You can also, with that, uh, you want to download a um, moon phase website, like I mentioned already, such as the Lunar Calendar. That is actually a website. Okay, um, it's a site. It's called the Lunar Calendar. Okay, and so that's there. And you can go right to the website called Lunar Calendar. It pulls right on up all the phases each day. And then you can see what's going on if you can't get outdoors or you're doing your private gratitude meditation time in the morning. You go to, okay, how am I going to feel today? Take your notes. Also, you want to make sure you make a mental note and pay attention to each day. How are you feeling? Start to notice how the moon affects you. So that's one part you want to do is see, how does it affect me? How does it affect my behavior for the day? Because lots of times people are not noticing, besides all the other solar system or the inner planets that are part of us have an influence on our behavior, but how is the moon affecting you as well? Okay. Um, Look for patterns in your energy levels and emotions. Okay, with that. I'm going to put that in the link. I'm going to put that in the link in the chat. I'm sorry. So you want to look for patterns. I'm putting it in the chat here. Look for patterns of your energy and emotions. Okay. So you want to look for your patterns and energy levels and emotions. Okay. Um, Take your time to do that each day. Okay. Um, the other part too is I'll tell you what area that I notice things a lot about the moon for me. Just some key areas is I notice for looking for patterns for me, the waxing gibbous and the waning gibbous and the full moon gives me a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Okay. So you want to start paying attention to that too. I don't want to move out of frame, but I think I have one of my notebooks that are here. No, when I'll post it in Patreon. Um, So that's something that you want to take a look at. Okay, pay attention. So you want to join Patreon today to get access to the moon and mood tracker. It's on a PDF, and the 9 phases of the moon. I have it there. It's a PDF. Next week we'll talk about the new moon and how do the different phases of the moon affect you. So next week we'll be talking about the new moon because I talk a lot here about the moon. I do a lot of cycles just about the new moon and full moon videos, but I don't, you need to know all the cycles and pay attention to that. Okay. So, do you have any questions? I'll take two or three. Make sure it's pertaining to the topic. If you have any other questions, you can always contact me, about consultation, spell work, psychic reading, such as that. Do you have a question? I'll take two questions and then we're in about what the topic is. I'll wait. I know we made and this will be on replay. I'll wait, see if I see any questions. And hello to everybody that's in the chat. I see there's more. If you have any questions that's pertaining to the conversation today, I'll give it a few more minutes. I give it next 10 seconds and then we'll move on. But good morning to everybody. Good morning. Hey, Muriel. Good morning, Morgan, Tia, Samantha, everyone that's here. Ayana, B, Unapologetic, Great Goddess, B, Jasmine, Magdalene. Good morning to those that will see this in the replay. Welcome. And those that are new to the channel. Okay, well, I don't see any questions that's coming up. So I'm going to close. There was a message from the cards today from the Oracle deck, and I'm going to move forward. I didn't see any questions. So, in saying that, thank you for coming to this wonderful 9 phases of moon magic. Take time to join the Patreon. Join us on our email at https double colon slash slash eclipticspiritualist7.com. That's our website. You will get a lot of detailed information on a daily basis. Join us on Instagram as well. Okay, I see a question before I end. Thank you, B. I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to end. B asks us why sometimes the queen. Okay, so the question is why do we feel drained sometimes? Well, that's because the moon normally is going into a different phase when she's normally that will feel when it's getting ready to close, moving towards the new moon, and that is time for you to take time to step back. Okay, those are signals. The moon is telling us, okay, we gave you enough energy. Now it's time for you to preserve yourself, to preserve. And then that means for you to start to go within as she approaches the new moon, to take time to go within, to get rest, to listen to spirit, to yourself. And so that's what that means when you start feeling drained. Okay, because she's telling you to go from within. Don't step because we've been working in so much divine masculine energy that now the moon to say, hey, I'm ready to shine since 2020. So she's allowing us to now listen to the divine feminine, to listen to the cycles of knowing to step back, 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 and then to show up, 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 and not to work so much in the divine masculine with the sun blooming versus we're moving with the moon energy because he teaches us to step back and then step forward, like the tides of the ocean. So I hope that clarifies it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we're going to close here. Thank you for joining this teaching on the 9 phases and sacred cycle. It's very sacred. Join us on Patreon. I have PDFs there. Know that I offer private live psychic readings that will change your life. You're welcome, Morgan. That will change your life. Psychic live readings. I offer diagnostic consultations. I offer counseling. I am a certified counselor of 30 years plus into the spiritual practitioner aspect as well. A lot of people need services for better help and better health in a mental aspect as we grow into this age of Aquarius in the golden age. Along with, we offer spell work, ritual work, master classes in the area of spiritual practitioners, um, mental health as well, but how to work with rituals and such on our master classes. Okay, so check us out on our website. You'll get more information there. I love you for watching, love you on the replay. Continue to grow and go with us. Take your spiritual practitioner aspect of your life very seriously. Study and dive deep. Continue to trust in yourself always. I will see you next time. Bye bye.